Bueller. Bueller.
All rise, order in the court. It is time. We made it halfway through the work week anyways, Mike.
Halfway, you say? I feel like we've gone all the way, but
it's been a long week
that's
already.
That's just us and the guys in the truck having a rough go at it. But that's all right. Things are looking up. It's Wild Worming Wednesday. What more can a guy ask for?
That's right.
As well as hopefully an appearance by Stan.
Yeah, always good when Stan comes through. Maybe he has a better understanding of what the channel's about. Maybe. You never know.
Stan Law.
So, protection order, I believe.
Yeah, this one, though, usually it's lovers we see that are no longer loving. This time, Creed got something that everybody hates, an ex. That's right. The ex is not too happy with the new girl. Getting into way bay, doing too much stuff, always talking to her man.
Oh, how dare she? JoJo B.
Good to see you. And real quick, thank you to everybody. We made it to yet again another milestone with 17,000 subscribers over on Credence and Mikey channel. So today, the 17,000 Express. Again, we actually got to another 1,000 just a few hours quicker this time than we did last time.
That's great.
So as long as we keep averaging this 1,000 subscribers a week, somebody's in trouble.
No, that is, my God, that's pretty amazing.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Next month's goal, Creed, 1 million views in 1 month.
Christopher, I don't think I have either. I think. Might have said it in passing, but not like a straight up, like one that you could use in a court of law.
I believe I was at the Planet Rock one time, and this guy was giving me an unsolicited massage to my wife.
Oh, really?
And yeah, the guy was egg roll had to pull me off of right outside Planet Rock when she was sick, and I'd run back in to get Bishop.
My God.
And I come up behind him, I grabbed him by his shirt and yanked him back.
The craziest part about that story is because it's like, wow, what did that MFer do for Mikey to get like that out of control to where egg roll his security at Planet Rock, which is a concert venue that we spent a lot of time at. Made lots of memories. Anyways, that's funny. Was it I'm gonna kill you, MFer, or something along those lines?
I believe it was I'm going to effing kill you.
Yeah.
And egg roll says, no, Mikey, don't do it. Let me handle it. And he grabs him and puts him to sleep and drags him behind the building. So I don't know if that guy's dead or not. He could be.
He might have been buried out back underneath the Denny's. You never know.
Could be under the Denny's. Anything's possible.
It's a Denny's now, from what I understand. All right. Appreciate you guys. Wow, 17K is absolutely crazy. Listen, I'm just on the Roku late last night. Creed apparently can't sleep for the last week and a half. It's been just absolutely anyways, I'm up scrolling through, and I'll tell you one thing that made me smile and made me happy is seeing those numbers from the premieres yesterday. And I'm like,
yeah. Not too bad. Every once in a while, Mikey needs a fire under his ass, and sometimes other people just give it to him. And I was like, well, I'll take it.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? One more thing before we get to court. We say thank you to Georgia Peach, who was the first on the 17K Express. And Dave.
And the judge. Wilford Brimley.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Big
We'll
eyes.
be with you as soon as the respondent enters the courtroom.
Hi, Rebecca.
So this is the new girl. So we're about to find out, is this an upgrade or a downgrade? The old chick is about to
Can you please
arrive.
search your video?
Baby mama.
It's just as fun as like when an old friend had
All right, both of you may unmute.
Had a new girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's like, your first time you get to meet her, and you're like, I wonder.
How did he do?
This new one down here.
Yeah, that's the new one. The new one is up at the top. The old
Oh,
one is
old
down
one.
there.
Down.
She's responded. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's almost like a lateral move, maybe. I don't know.
Mikey got a haircut. That much I do know. Look at that. That's like is that almost a high and tight. You can tell he lives in a military town, no?
It's a good way of picking up women. Here.
Yes.
I obviously I'm a Marine.
Yes. Duh.
Duh, lady.
Okay. Do either of you have any witnesses that will be testifying on your behalf?
I do.
Okay. Are they in the room with you or are they in another location?
They're in another room.
Okay. Is the door closed where they cannot hear the testimony that's given?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Please see that remains that way. Ms. Brown, do you have any witnesses to appear for you?
No.
Okay. All right. The petitioner has the burden of
No.
proof under the law by what's called a preponderance of the evidence, which basically means you have to tip the scales in your favor. That the need for a permanent order is more likely than not. But that is your burden. If either of you have filed any exhibits with the court,
X to the Z exhibits. 5 bones, Dave. Thank you, Mikey. This the new lady. She almost reminds me of the woman, the police officer from Police Academy. That's really soft spoken until she starts yelling.
Yes. I believe her name was Officer Hooks.
Is that all I need to sleep properly? I'm telling you, man, when you're up and down 15 times a night, and then there was like a period between 4:30 and 7 a.m. that I couldn't.
I mean, I went to bed at 12:30 and then got back up at 6:30. So, I mean, that's a decent night's sleep, I think.
Heroin PM. I hear heroin's very cheap these days too.
Oh.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Pennies on the dollar, Creed.
please let us know when you intend to use each one. Please identify them by the way in which you labeled that exhibit, and the staff will pull up that exhibit on a share screen so we can all look at it, and then you can proceed to testify about whatever it is you wish to show the court. If you both will please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in the matter pending will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury?
Thank you. I put up the wrong
Yes.
hand, by the way.
Okay. All right, Ms. Mayo, if you will
Mayo.
proceed, you can tell me why you feel the need for a
Yeah.
permanent order in this
Color,
case.
Miss Dukes.
Yes, Your Honor. So I filed
By the
petitioner.
way, Flush is right. Do you remember when we were doing that? And, I had to screen over here, right? And we were getting to, was it 1,000 that we were
1,000. Yeah, we were trying to get to
and it just
1,000
kept going.
subscribers.
Everybody kept unsubbing, so we couldn't hit
I waited till it was like 17,040 or whatever it is right now.
We know now. We do not announce a milestone until there's a good enough buffer.
There's 1, 2, and 3. These are certification of a police report and arrest report, because the petitioner or the respondent has already come to my house since the TPO has been ordered. She has a contentious custody situation with my partner, and seems to think it's acceptable to show up to my home at any given moment every time she gets mad. So most recently she came over, so I was able to obtain the TPO because she kept coming over. Once because her phone call dropped with her son, and so she came over. And another time when she knew that my partner wasn't there. She's made threats to me in the past. She said that she's going to create problems for my job, and that she's not going to be the only one getting hurt. But regardless, she thinks that anytime she gets upset, she'll show up at my door. I have 3 young children at my home, including hers, 6, 5, and 2 years old. And she comes over cursing, banging on the door. There's children out in the street. She disrupts the peace, and there's no reason for this behavior. So most recently, while I was at work, I have this TPO. She had worked out with my partner to exchange their son at Walmart, where they're ordered to do all custody exchanges. She agreed to meet him at 4:30. I go to work expecting not to have any problems, and then get a phone call that she's at the door again. So I'm just increasingly frustrated that I can't even trust this woman to protect her own son. He's the main one in the house that's saying how traumatic it is for her to come over, for people to come over, banging on the door. And it doesn't seem like this is going to stop. In Petitioner's 5, she stated to my partner that
well, ma'am, you keep referring to the exhibits. If you want us to look at them, we need
You also
to do them
keep
one
saying
at a time.
partner.
okay, so
Are
Yeah.
they holding up a bank? Are they tag team champions?
Right.
Stop saying partner. Your man, your boyfriend.
Dave with 5 members. So don't forget, we got a case channel 5:30 East tonight.
Look, I'm going to take back what I said about lateral move. I think it's a slight downgrade, but not much.
So far she seems a lot nicer. I'm not.
She does. She's very nice, very well spoken lady so far.
The thing with her shirt, and then that was really strange.
I thought she was undressing for a second.
I did too.
Like,
That's why I was like, I because boobs can't be seen that unless it's a National Geographic thing.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, the way that she keeps referring to the partner and stuff. Yeah, if we didn't know that other part, we'd be certainly very lost.
It's a fella.
What do you want to see first?
I like that too. Where do you want to pick up the kids? Walmart's great for that.
Yes, Walmart's. They've got a Wounded Warriors parking spot. They've got expectant mothers. They got dropping off your fucking kids.
Yes, pretty soon you're gonna have to park all the way out the way out because and yeah, cops have parking.
Petitioner's 2 is the police report from the last one.
All right, hold on a second. We'll pull it up, and then you can tell me more about it.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay.
So if you can go to the report on page 4.
I think that it's absolutely legitimate. However, I think that in society, when you refer to your partner as something else, when you refer to them as a partner, especially when you're married, I think that to most of society, it comes off a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's certainly acceptable and a legitimate way to say that.
Sure.
But when we hear that
You're
is
kind of programmed to think, I'm like, oh, well, have you met my my beautiful partner?
Right. That's what I think. And that's why we always say something like that, because then you kind of think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing wrong with that.
So this is describing the situation that happened on April 7th, which is the day that she was arrested for coming over while I was at work.
Booty call.
Okay. Was she arrested for the dispute with her child's father or for being
by the way, obviously typed out by Mikey the legend, in case you didn't notice. All caps.
It's the way you got to do it. Get your point across.
Premises.
He was arrested for being on the premises. So the TPO mandates that she stay 100 yards away from my home, my place of work, me, my children. And she came to the door. And so in this, he's describing that he explained to her that this was a custodial issue that she needed to take up with DeKalb custodial court. And then she says that she understands that. She stays in her car, which is within 100 yards of my residence. And then because the police officer did not come into the house and get her son, then she decided that she was just going to come wait. And so he describes how he advised her not to do that. And then my partner gave the officer the protection order and she was arrested for it. It describes her violent behavior and how she acted as if she had no idea why he wasn't doing exactly what he told her he would do. So it just continues to be a problem. And it seems like she's even said that nothing's going to stop her behavior.
Okay, so she was arrested at the scene in April.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other exhibits?
I think it is important to show Petitioner's 4 is where she agreed to meet at 4:30 at the Walmart.
Okay. Hold on. Let's pull them up.
Usually I hear the Discord thing through I think it's actually, is it coming from that?
So this is
it
a
message
exchange between her and my partner through the Talking Parents app. So at 5 a.m., so if you scroll down to the second page, At 5 a.m., she says, I'll see you at 4:30, and then proceeds with a tirade about how angry she is about it. And my partner responds, see you at 4:30. So between 4:30 and the time she came over and subsequently was arrested, she changed her mind and decided that even though she had agreed to do what's already in their custody order, the custody order also says she's not to be at my residence. She agrees to meet him somewhere else, even though she seems unhappy about it. And then I get a phone call that she's at my door again. So I don't think there's any reason to
The
think
part
that
that's
she's going to.
highlighted, I don't know if they read it or not, but it says, you sound slow. You really do. I'll see you at 4:30. My God, you are really fucking ridiculous. Like, it makes no sense. That's what that line says right there. That's highlighted right here. This is through that app, right? I mean, it's the whole point of this. We've heard about it before, the parental thing app. I don't remember exactly what they just called it, but
Yeah.
that's the whole point, is so that you can see everybody.
Save these records. Yeah.
Yeah. So going off or calling somebody out their name on that app doesn't seem like it's that smart.
To, magically start obeying all of these court orders. You can pull petitioners 6.
Not looking too good for the respondent.
No, so far not.
And so this is where she initially was making threats to me. So this was back in August, which is why I pursued the TPO in the first place. So she's, threatening my partner, saying, yeah, this is about to get ugly. If I got to call Emory's math department and let them know Miss Talia Mayo is complicit, I will. We'll all have a bad day, year, life behind this shit, because I ain't going to play with a bitch ass soul about my son. Then she lists my address. She lists my work address, and she names my other minor children, who at the time were 4 years old and 1 year old.
Oh,
Okay, Ms. Mayo,
and I'm looking at it right now. It is highlighted. The address, straight up, just address. She works for. I mean, it's all.
What was that great quote she just said? That she said she ain't gonna something bitch ass something. What was that all about?
I'll be honest with you. This is a little bit blurry. So it's hard to see exactly where it's got to be in. Yeah, I don't see it. It was a great quote, though. Oh, there it is. Oh, I got it. We can all have a bad day /year /life behind this shit, because I ain't gonna play with a bitch ass something about my son. Bitch ass shit about my son, maybe, I don't know. But then straight after that is when we're slapping in the addresses.
I know where you live. I know you where you work.
I mean, that's kind of
children are. Yeah, that's like, I'm gonna come and get you and your kids. Like,
yeah,
I can take them at any time. I can take you out at any time.
Listen, if somebody's sitting there, texting me addresses and names of all of my children,
yeah, it feels like maybe they're dangerous.
The date
absolutely, without a doubt. Otherwise
of that is it predates your original 12-month order.
Okay.
So I'm here only to hear what has happened since that 12-month order.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Then can you also show petitioners 5? Okay, so this is May 29th, after she was released from jail, where she says that my partner is not going to keep her from her child, not through court, jail, or anything. He'd have to kill her first, and she'll make sure all the judges and attorneys know that I will not be kept from my child. Okay, so the fact is, nobody's trying to keep her from her children. My partner is simply following court orders, and I don't have anything to do with what the judges ordered. If it's not her custodial time, that's not my fault or problem, and I don't want her at my house near my children or my family.
Okay. Any other exhibits?
That's all.
Okay. Do you wish to tender those 4 documents into evidence?
Yes.
It's like
Okay. Any objection, ma'am? Ms. Brown?
No, but I have something. I didn't send it. I can send it to you, but I have some things that I can send as well.
Okay. I'm dealing only with
Agreed.
right now with what she has presented. Any objection to those documents is to
No.
their authenticity. Okay, they're all admitted without objection. All right, Ms. Mayo, any other evidence that you wish to present?
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Brown, you have the right to ask questions if you have any, and please keep it in the form of a question. Do not be argumentative if you don't like the answer that is given to you, because you will have your turn to testify yourself. You understand?
I don't have any questions for her.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Mayo, you said you have another witness, is that correct? Okay, they're gonna testify from where you are now? Okay, you're allowed to stay in the room. You maybe move to the other seat over there that I see, and that person can come in and testify now.
Just got one of
May I ask a
those,
question, Judge?
Wait until we get everybody back.
just got one of
Okay.
those couches that, you know, when you go see a psychiatrist, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Stretch out, baby. Let's talk. Oh, just the man? Yeah, that's him.
Okay,
Is
Ms.
it?
Brown, what is your question?
I
Trent
just wanted
Darby.
to know when I would be allowed to speak.
Wish him well.
Would it be after her witness speaks?
So,
After the petitioner always goes first, maybe I should have explained that since we don't have lawyers. They go first, present all of their evidence. After that's concluded, then yes, absolutely, you will have the right to testify as well and present whatever documents you may have available that can be presented.
Okay.
All right, and sir,
Hey, yeah,
if you will,
beautiful
please raise your
hair.
right hand. Do you swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in the matter pending will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
is this running smooth? The video,
Yeah,
by
it's fine. Yeah, from what I can see.
it is okay. It might be a StreamYard thing today. Rather than skipping everything and just keep hitting Nightbot, I'm clicking and it's taking a moment. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but a couple of them have actually, like, there's been 2 comments on the screen while it's transitioning. It's
Oh yeah, we're not seeing that.
okay. All right. I just let me know if this is
You're
not
good.
running good, because the comments are a nightmare.
Does he have
Truth
eye
under
makeup?
penalty.
There's something with the eyes, and then as soon as I was kind of looking, like, I think he went to the truck to get some cosmetology done.
He's a pretty man.
But the eye situation, just like the other day.
To your perjury.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, if you will, state in your own words what you know about this case involving these 2 parties.
What I know is that there's been 3 separate times where Kristen has come to our home unwelcome, and each time she's made it clear that she'll do it whenever she feels like it. Each time it was completely unnecessary and irrelevant to her actual parenting time. First time it was just because she decided she wanted to. She knew I wasn't here, so it wasn't to speak to me. She has Talia's number, so if it was to speak to her, she could have done that then. The second time she came over trying with a man that she was, or maybe still is, dating, trying to fight. He was trying to fight me.
Ooh.
She seemed to be trying to fight someone, or I don't really know exactly what was going on, but there was the clear words that were used were, when he called me, I told him, oh, you all should leave. He said, come outside and make me leave. He said that multiple times. And she had the same sort of energy. And that second time she came over, it was because she was riding around in the car and was speaking to my son. She was riding around in the car speaking to our son during the time she's supposed to. And because she was riding around in the car dropped. We tried to call her back. It didn't work. And then we moved on with our day. About 10, 15 minutes later, she was at my door, banging on my door and doing all of that. And then the third time she came over, it was because she couldn't pick him up at the time that the court order specifies at 7:45 a.m. She asked me to change the time. And I worked with her. I said, okay, because I'm not maid, so I don't have to change the time to meet her at a different time. But I was trying to work with her to meet her at a different time. She didn't like it, but she agreed to it at 5 a.m. that morning. But then by 3 p.m., she was at my door with the police officer trying to force me to hand my son over to her. And again, all of these things were completely unnecessary. None of them were me getting in the way of her custody time.
Let me ask, because I don't know the background in your case with her, was this a result of a divorce or legitimation?
No, not a divorce. It's just that for my child's entire life, my child is 6 years old. We haven't been together during any of that time. We broke up before we even knew she was pregnant. So it's not a divorce. We just have an ongoing custody dispute.
Okay, well, but there's a court order that sets out the time and place of any exchanges?
Yes, and there's been a court order. We had a court order from Missouri. We had a temporary order here, and then we have a second temporary order here, and all of them specify.
That's
Okay,
quite a few.
All of those specify when is my
Coming
parenting
together.
time, when is hers parenting.
okay.
Oh,
All
what
right,
a terrible toxic
Anything else,
situation.
sir?
Yeah, I don't know if this was said already, but she's made it very clear that, no court or judge or lawyer or court order is going to stop her from doing what she wants to do. I don't know. It seems that she thinks that it's because of me trying to keep her away from our son, but just the facts don't bear that out, because in none of these instances was I keeping our son away from him. In all of them, it was either it simply wasn't her parenting time, or a call dropped because of her actions, her riding around in a car, or her not being able to pick him up at the time that she wanted to. And I tried to work with her, and she just decided that wasn't good enough.
Okay. Before you have your questioning, if you wish to ask any questions, Ms. Brown, let me make it clear. Number one, if either of you is dissatisfied with the court order from Missouri or the temporary orders that y'all are presently under regarding your child, then I'm not the one that can fix any of that. That can only be fixed by modification in the appropriate court that has that order. So, my only role here is any possible violation of that order that bleeds over, if you will, into this case. That's the only thing I'm here about. And so I just want to make it clear that I can't change that other order. Both of you have the right to go back and try to modify that order if it's not working. Either of you have the right to file contempt actions against the other if you think the other party's not adhering to the order as stated. Okay. All right, ma'am, do you have any questions that you want to ask the witness as it relates to this case?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. All right, Ms. Mayo, do you have any further evidence you wish to present?
I do not.
Okay. All right, Ms. Brown, now it's your turn. If you wish to make statements, you may do so. If y'all will swap places, so we have Petitioner a little closer to the
Yes.
microphone.
First things first is
so far,
neither of them are being
not sounding too good for her. I mean, she's
I-
starting off with first off. That's never a good starting point.
Right. I do want to hear from her before I make any assumptions. But so far,
I mean, if she's bringing dudes with her over to the house to try that she's not even supposed to be at to try and fight him because he's keeping the kids away from her,
none of it looks good. No
yeah, it
doubt.
would never look. She's already been arrested. There's tons of TPOs. We're trying to get this one extended. I think we're trying to get it's not permanent, but one that's going to be multi-year here. So,
Damn.
it's a lot.
You've already got, was it 3 total that are in place?
There's 3 different, 3 different ones, different states.
being truthful. This is stemming from a contentious custody battle between he and I. I moved to Georgia as a result. He followed her to Georgia for her job, and I moved to Georgia in August. I've only been to their home twice. The first time I went to their home, I went to the home with my partner in the car because I was on the phone with my son. The court order that we have from Missouri specified a certain time limit for me to be able to speak to my child. At the time, my son was 5 years old. I wasn't able, the call dropped. That was completely out of my control. I don't have any control over the cell towers. So the call dropped. I wrote his father on the Talking Parents app, which is how we communicate. He messaged me back several times rather than just calling me back to allow me to continue the call. So I did go to the home, myself and my partner, we went to the home. He called the police. The police came to the home. They didn't force me to leave. I wasn't violent. I wasn't trying to fight anybody. I just simply knocked on the door. Shortly after that, I got served with him requesting, he filed a motion in the court to modify the existing agreement that we had. And we went to court for that, which gave us a temporary order in Georgia, because prior to that, we didn't have an order in Georgia. We had an order from Missouri, which is where I'm from. So if you go back to the exhibits, the things that she was talking about, or the instances where she said I mentioned her job, that was as I mentioned her job. I was frustrated because there was an incident where both her and his dad told my 5-year-old son that if he seen me at the school, if he left with me, they were going to punish my son. I was going to go to jail. They were telling all of these horrible things to my son, and my son was scared that I was going to get in trouble if he left with me, and he was afraid that he was going to be punished if he came with me. So I said those things to her, or I said those things on Talking Parents in relation to that, and that's when they went to file the orders. However, from that time until the time that I showed up to her home in April, I hadn't been back to her home. I don't have her phone number. He just recently gave me her phone number. I don't bother these people. My thing is they are actively trying to keep me from my son. She's been sitting in on meetings, educational meetings.
That's going back to the
Okay.
of the underlying custody order between the two of you. And so,
Okay. Well, I'll address April 7th.
Let me just suggest, Ms. Mayo, this is something they need to work out without your involvement.
And they are.
Okay. I'm just throwing that out there. It has nothing to do with today's case.
Right.
But that's between the two parents, as you, I'm sure, appreciate being a parent yourself, that they're the ones that need to deal with this.
Yes, sir.
April 7th.
Go ahead, ma'am.
On April 7th. So typically I would pick my son up from school. I didn't come to their home. I didn't have a reason to contact them and come to their home. I would pick him up from school. However, at this time, my son was on spring break, so I had to coordinate directly with his father to pick him up. The issue with the timing was that I had already took the time off work for a set amount of time. If you go back to the messages that she put in her exhibit, you could see that I was trying to coordinate a time with him. I even asked to come prior to the 7:45 time, and I said several times 4:30 does not work for me. Eventually I acquiesced because he and I weren't getting anywhere. We were arguing. So it's like I agreed essentially just to say, okay, fine, I'm tired of going back and forth with you about it. But I was very adamant that time did not work for me, and I tried several times to come earlier. I showed up, I called the police actually, and I met the police around the corner from their home at my son's school, and I showed him my court order that specified when I was supposed to get my son, and he was in agreement that was my court order time per the order that I had from the DeKalb County judge. So I followed the officer to the home. I did not go to the home on my own. I did not just show up. I was not beating on the door, but as a result of this order that she had, I was arrested. However, and this is what I asked if I could enter into evidence, the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office, once they reviewed the evidence of the case and the court order, they dismissed the charges against me. My concern, I don't have to have help, and I want to address me saying that nothing is going to keep me from my son, because they have been doing this for years. I don't want to go like too deep into the custody thing, but they've been doing everything possible to try to keep me from my child. So saying that nothing is going to keep me from my son, that's what I meant. I'm going to fight for my son every day. I don't have to have contact with this woman. I've had no contact with her. The issue is that I showed up to her home. However, with the order that we have now, that's been addressed. We have somewhere that we can meet. I have access to pick my son up from school so that I don't have to come to their home. I don't have to talk to her. My only concern is based off their history and the things that they've done. I don't want there to be something in place to where, like, if my son is at school and
Dave dropping another 5.
Take a breath. What are you thinking, Creed? I mean,
I'm going to make her take a breath. That's what I'm thinking. Real quick.
Rambling on.
I don't know. I'll give it a minute. I think that I like the way that she up top here presented her stuff. Same with him, the partner. a lot better? Because down here, I'm not really following. It seems like a lot of word salad to me, but I could be completely wrong.
She's making a lot of claims, but with backing up absolutely nothing with anything.
Right. Like, how the fact that, the case got dismissed. I was arrested. Like you guys said right there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We try.
We do our best.
We try.
That's all we can do. Who's got the best hair on the screen?
Right here, Richard
That's
C.
what I thought, too.
Foxworth. That's what I'd go with. But yeah, what do you think? Are you up top here or bottom?
I mean,
So far where we're at.
I'm sticking up top simply because they've got receipts. They've got
Right.
So far all I got from her is so
fast paced too.
Nobody's keeping me from my baby egregiously.
And Hector, very good point. Yeah. And we're not talking about just one protection order either.
Yeah.
Or he has an event at school and she's there. I can't be there because she's present. That's what I don't want to happen. I don't want there to be like if he's in a sporting, like if he plays sports and he has a game, I can't go to support my child because she's present. But I don't have to. I don't have any contact with her. I do not text her. I haven't gone to her job. And other than the 2 times that I've described, I have not went to their home.
Okay.
The votes are in on the question about the best hair. Judge, of course, the dude, and Mikey, the new fly haircut.
Are you saying that both the times that you went to the home, the police were with you?
The first time I went to the home, he called the police. The police did not go with me. I simply showed up because of the call dropped and I wasn't able to finish my call. So he called the police on me the first time. The second time, the police came with me. I went to the home with the police. I did not just show up by myself.
Most of these incidents were in April.
No, the first incident was in August of 2022. And then the last incident was in April. So from August to April, I didn't go to their home.
And which was the one for which you got arrested?
That was April 7th. And those charges were dismissed.
Okay.
Yes. So again, it's just a contentious custody battle, and she's inserting herself in something that essentially has nothing to do with her.
Okay.
I agree with that part.
Anything else, ma'am?
No.
Mikey's his own damn TMZ.
Mayo, do you have any questions?
So I would just like to say that
I asked, do you have any questions?
Okay,
that's all you're gonna be able to do is ask a question.
Okay, so I'd like to know that why did she come the first time if the initial order told her not to come? And what reason do I have to believe that now that there's a new custody?
Okay, one question at a time.
Well,
so
one question at a time.
You got to let her answer the question, ma'am.
Well, at the time that I came,
first question is, why did she come the first time?
At the time that I came to her home in August, there was no order from Georgia. We only were operating on an order from Missouri. I moved to Georgia August 1st of 2022. So
are you aware that the order from
Hold on, both of you, please.
Okay.
Let me tell you what we're not going to do.
Court does not work that way, people.
So am I to understand if I have a TPO against Creed in North Carolina, and then I go to South Carolina, Creed is free to harass me anytime he wants? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much
what she's saying.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what she was just saying, which I
technicality, baby.
I don't think that works that way. Michael, 2 votes. Thank you. We need 1K people to unsubscribe.
Please don't do that.
Please don't. They will.
I will not listen to either of you when you're both talking because I can't understand either one of you. You may not argue with her answers at all. You ask a question, you get an answer you don't like, you can tell me about it at the end. Okay? We cannot argue back and forth. I'm not going to deal with that. I will tell you everybody, all 3 of you in advance, a lot of this can be cleaned up with the court order and the legitimation or the visitation order, custody order that you have going right now. Okay. All right.
Can I finish answering the question, Judge?
Yes, you may.
So the initial order that we had from Missouri, which is the order that we were operating on the first time I came to the home back in August. And that order makes no specification of where I can't be. It also specified that I was that he and I were both allowed a certain amount of time to talk to our child. So due to the car dropping, I was not given the time that I was ordered, which is why I showed up to the house. It did not specify that I could not be there. It had nothing to do with Georgia because at the time that the order was written, neither of us were living in Georgia. I was living in Missouri and he was living in Florida. And it wasn't until we went to court in October did we have an order for Georgia. And their order for Georgia again did not specify that I could not come to the home. It just specified where he and I were supposed to meet to exchange custody in the event that I wasn't, or in the event that school was out.
So very quickly, that is very interesting about the states and what you guys were just saying about that. So that is a weird technicality. However, I got to say this though, I would imagine as a judge, if you're hearing and or see proof that even though you're in different states or you're outside of, or technically you're trying to use that technicality, I don't really think that any judge is going to just let
right, you already knew you weren't supposed to be around them. They didn't want you around. There was a issue with you being around and not following the guidelines. I mean,
I did not know about that though, which I don't see why they couldn't tidy that one up a little bit, if you will.
Maybe.
That's crazy.
But by October, this order was already in place, correct?
There was an order.
This order came into existence in September of last year.
Are you talking about the TPO?
Right.
That I wasn't aware of. I actually haven't received a copy of the TPO until I was arrested. So my assumption is that yes, they filed it, but I didn't have a copy of it. And
you were served with it. You didn't show up for court that day?
I never received it. The only order that I was served with was the order for court that he filed requesting the motion to the motion to a foreign judgment, the motion, whatever he filed to give Georgia the jurisdiction over our Missouri order. That's what I received.
Okay. Did you ask this court in the TPO case for a motion for reconsideration?
Who, me?
Yes.
Who, me?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I may have confused that with another case that's on today's calendar. So, all right, but an order was entered.
Kendra Frank, thank you. 5 bones. That's not good when the judge gets it confused with maybe another.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff about all the different TPOs. They did some sort of thing where they were trying to transfer it over to Georgia. So that is possible about transferring it and whatnot, but it seems like a lot of red tape.
All right, and I'm going to ask Ms. Mayo, back in September, the judge did confirm that she had been served with your petition for TPO, correct?
Judge and the Women's Center.
Okay, and then you proceeded, she didn't appear and you proceeded and got the order, correct?
And they tried to serve her at my house when she came over the second time.
Ooh.
Okay.
He tried,
Okay.
and I submitted that to evidence also.
All right, well, but she was served at some point, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything else, Ms. Brown? Or any more questions, Ms. Mayo?
I don't have any more questions.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give each of you about 3 minutes to tell me why I should or should not enter this permanent order. And by permanent, please understand it's 3 years, not forevermore. Okay.
We're going for 3.
All right, Ms. Mayo, you get to go first. Tell me why I should.
Yeah, so the original custody, the order they had out of Missouri also specified that their only communication was to be through talking parents and briefly during exchanges. So it wasn't explicitly stated, don't come to her house, but it's it's inferred. You're not supposed to have any communication.
Okay,
So
I can't do anything with the Missouri order.
I understand, and I'm not asking you to. What I'm trying to demonstrate is that she has 3 orders telling her not to come in the situation. I'm absolutely not. I'm taking good care of her child, and I have been for 6 years, and I'm not inserting myself into a situation, someone showing up at my house where my children are, and then, yes, I become involved. So
Okay.
obviously, since the orders that she has through the family court are not enough for her to stay away, I do think it's necessary to have this extended. It's the only thing that's going to keep her away.
Okay, let me ask a couple of questions here. This is my turn now. Okay, you said there are 3 orders that tell her to stay away, 2 of which, as I understand what you just said, they only infer that she should not come there, correct?
The first order out of Missouri said that the only communication she was to have with him was through the Talking Parents app, and the exchanges with the child would be brief and in this public place. So, I mean, you can infer, oh, the house is or isn't public, but it says that the exchanges are not to occur there. And no, it doesn't say you can't come over because you're mad about a call dropping. But I don't think an appropriate response to a call dropping is to show up beating on the door. Then the temporary order they have in Georgia does say explicitly that all exchanges are to occur at Walmart. So again, it's not saying, oh, and you can't come to her house, but I also have the TPO around that same time that does explicitly state that. And now this most recent order, which I also filed, does explicitly say, like, you are not to go to their residence. So, I mean, we do have those things in place. We have had those things in place. They tried to serve her when she appeared at the house the second time with the other man. They tried to serve her. She refused to sign. I also submitted that to evidence. So she did know about the order. She does not care. And so she's saying that, oh, well, nothing's going to keep me from him because of this. Nobody's trying to keep her from him, but we can't have this kind of chaos at our front door all the time. And I do believe that this past 6 years have shown that when she's upset, she'll do whatever she feels like it, whether it's in a court order or not.
Okay.
I believe
All
that.
right, ma'am. Ms. Brown, your chance in 3 minutes or so to tell me why I should not enter the order.
Well, she continues to, let me say this. She continues to make it as if like I'm this violent person and I'm showing up whenever I want to. That's not the case. Again, the order for Missouri made no mention. We were living in 2 separate states at the time. So, I mean, I wasn't driving to Florida. He wasn't driving to Missouri. All of our exchanges occurred at the time, all of our exchanges were occurring in Missouri. So there was no need for me to come to their home. I only went to their house twice. And the first time, I don't know where they're getting it 3 times from. The first time was as a result of me not being allowed to complete the call with my son per the court order that I had. And my partner was there. So I don't know, maybe they're confused or something. From August to April, I did not go to their home. I did not contact her. I've never contacted her. Actually, this is my first time ever seeing this lady. I take care of my son. I don't know why there's this implication that I'm not present for my son. That's why we're here, right? That's why I'm in Georgia, because I'm fighting for my child. Both her and her partner, they have tried to keep me from my son through schools, everything else. My thing is, I just want to be present. If they stop trying to keep me out of his life, the things that happened would not have happened. Again, like I said, when it comes to my son and his education, I don't want there to be something in place to where I get in trouble for showing up for my child. He's my child, not hers. Myself and Ashton had him. She has nothing to do with this. I'm not repeatedly coming to their home. He and I have had several arguments from August to April that did not result in me coming to their home. Again, I showed up to the home with the police because I had no ill intentions on doing anything. I simply was trying to get my child as per the court order. I'm not this violent person that they're trying to make me out to be, because if I was, there would be more instances where I was at the home. I was not beating on the door. I rang the Ring camera. They have a Ring camera. I don't know why they didn't show that footage if I was truly being violent, like they're trying to make it out to be. I have not came to her job. Her children go to the same daycare that my son goes to, and I pick him up from school, and there's never been an issue. I don't think that's like, I don't have to have contact with her at all because this has nothing to do with her. My only concern is my child. And again, I don't want there to be an issue or there's something that he has at school or, an event or anything like that. And I can't be present because she's there. But as far as her, I don't have any contact with her. This has nothing to do with her. Nothing.
Okay. Let me ask, what's the status of the case in DeKalb as far as the custody and visitation?
Good question.
It's a temporary order. Is there a hearing scheduled or mediation scheduled or anything?
We've done mediation already. Right now, the case is being, we're waiting on the guardian to complete her investigation. And then we're going to have to, we're waiting on them to put us on the docket for a trial. But in that order.
Sir, does that sound the same to you? Is that your understanding of where things stand?
More or less, yes.
I'm sorry?
That's true, but what's also true is that currently I have sole physical custody and we have joint legal as specified by.
Okay, I understand.
That's not true. We share custody of our child.
There's shared legal custody. You can't both share physical custody if you don't live together.
Right now, he has primary custody per.
Okay.
He has the primary custody.
Okay, that's all he's saying. That's under the temporary order. Okay. Right. It's a difficult situation for any step.
Pause it. All right, so go ahead and get your votes in. Do you think she's going to get the TPO? Because I don't know. I mean, she made a lot of good points, but at the same time, I do think
she made some good points.
The lady is overstepping her boundaries up there. If she is trying to play mom, you only have one mom. It does kind of seem like she is doing that, but we're looking for, this will be a 3-year.
Yeah, that's a big
protective order. Yeah, it's a lot of time.
I have clicked on this 3 times and it has just stalled out. So this is really bad. Everything else is running good except for when I hit these, and there's about a full second delay. And I click another one, and then I have to click again. Man, that
seems like a split decision from everything I'm seeing. A lot of
50-50.
Somebody put 69. I don't know what that means, but
yeah, that's split decision. Also, it's kind of sharing.
You can go either way, right?
I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think that this that her down there was going to go good at all. But she did bring up some valid points. The only thing that keeps ringing true to me are those receipts that were brought from her up there.
Yeah.
That the texting conversation certainly came off
and the subtle threats without coming right out and threatening you.
Yeah. And that to me, I swear I'm looking at these still. It does seem very split decision, very close either way. So it'll be interesting.
And he just said it's a close one, Creed. He's even said it's a close one.
True.
So it can go either way.
Let's see.
Parents. It's a difficult situation for the parents themselves when there's 3 parties involved in a case. It seldom goes smoothly. The perfect visitation between 2 parents of a child or multiple children is 1 sentence long in the legal world. That the party's child will be exchanged at such times and places as the parties mutually agree. That's how simple it could be. But because that rarely works, unfortunately for the child, that's why you end up with all these pages of documents in temporary orders and final orders that say on these, the weekends and holidays and all of that. And Ms. Brown, let me tell you that it can also be in your case, you can request the ability to attend the child's school events. Okay. I don't have authority over that today at all. That's just not in front of me. That's some other judge's issue that they're going to have to resolve. And it should be allowed. But that's unless there's, I'm just saying, for the benefit of the child, who I assume loves both of you, that it's good for both parents to stay as involved as they can be. You don't have to be on the same side of the gym. You don't have to be on the same side of the field. But for the child to know that you're there is a good thing. But that's not in front of me. That's your responsibility, Ms. Brown. If you wish to ask for that,
Tell them to
you have
scan
to tell
that.
the judge in that case what you want.
I have that
Okay.
ability.
Well, it hadn't been decided as yet, but until it is decided, you can't be around.
There you go. Got away.
I am going to enter the permanent order for 3 years.
Okay.
Do not go to their home.
I won't.
Okay. And hopefully this will get resolved in more detail. And sir, it's incumbent on you to explain fully the situation to the guardian ad litem, to deal with it when you get back in court, both of you, to say, okay, we have this other wrench in the works, so to speak, that there is a permanent TPO that's going to expire in 2026.
You're right.
So how do we deal with this in your other case? So they're going to have to come up with more. That order should not infer anything. It should be explicit for both parties to have a clear understanding of when and where exchanges take place, when and where calls should be made, how the parents are to communicate with one another about that. Ms. Mayo, all I can do is urge you, and I'm sure you enjoy taking care of the child, but you got to step back and let them deal with it. However, let the chips fall where they may, and then you just support your partner and how it's handled, not get involved. Okay. You've got 2 children. I understand your children and this child are all at the same daycare. That creates yet another problem, but it hasn't been a problem to date, but I could see where it could be.
This isn't going to fix anything, by the way.
So you got to work all these details out in that case to make this one hopefully become unnecessary. If things go smoothly down the road, you get it resolved there. Maybe you can voluntarily dismiss the permanent order, so everybody can go in peace. Children pick up what's going on with their parents.
Yes.
Y'all are the primary teachers of this child. Do not anyone talk with the child about legal matters, about the other parent negatively, please. It will accomplish nothing. And I am saying to the parents of this one child, and sir, I'm sorry, I didn't have you state your name for the record. I should have. Therefore, I don't know your name. But what I'm saying is that the children learn from their parents' behavior. And if there were issues between y'all, then you're going to have issues with that child down the road. If they see it, they hear it, then you're going to have to be dealing with them, with that child down the road because of those issues that they saw and heard when they were a child. It's proven time and time again for that to happen. So keep your adult issues away from the child, please, for the sake of that child. So I will issue the order. It'll be filed with the clerk's office later today.
Wow, there it is.
And I'm not saying, ma'am, that Ms. Brown, that what your intentions were or are by comments made and that sort of thing. But I am going to tell you that if contempt actions are filed, I can put people in jail. Okay. So please understand that I take my orders seriously, and I expect the parties to take my orders seriously as well and to abide by them. So there are no circumstances at present for you to go to the house. Okay. All right. Everyone's free to go. I will issue the order. They will automatically send it to the petitioner.
Wow. So that is
a lot right there, by the way. Okay. A lot. I really want to say Judge Grandpa did a great job there at the end with his Jerry Springer final thoughts.
Yeah. Hey, and I like when he is stern to the point where, he tells it how it is. If you do that, you could be arrested. You're breaking the law.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he kind of has a feeling like, yeah, she's gonna do something else to get in trouble.
And there was a side where with the new girl where it could come off that she's really just trying to play mom and almost.
And Judge told her, hey, quit being a busybody. Get out of the way. Let these two figure it out. This their child, not yours.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Dave, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Final thoughts? Diabetes.
Real quick for everybody's here, make sure you like the video if you haven't done so. But also at 5:30 today, Creed, over on the main channel, Credence and Mikey, a special treat has been left on your pillow. So please enjoy Judge Cedric Simpson back again with a guy from Romania, Creed, who assaulted his wife in a different way, we'll say, and got into a little bit scuffle with law enforcement.
A kerfuffle?
Absolutely. So you don't want to miss that. I'm telling you, if you're not hanging out with us for members only over on We Got a Case, then you should be over on Credence and Mikey enjoying this beautiful, beautiful piece of work from our friends over there at Legend Brain Creations. Thank you.
17K Express. Thank you guys so much. Georgia Peach, Dave. Thanks, Dave, again. OG Flusha, Dave with some gifts. Michael, Shelly, Dave dropping some more bombs. Dave with 5 on it. What Rachel? Is that good enough?
Rachel, yeah, that's Rachel.
Mm-hmm. Michael with some bad ideas. Kendra, the late fee. Bingo. Dave, Georgia Peach Cobbler, and I think there was another Dave.
Yeah, of course. Stan on the caboose.
Yes, Stan. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan.
You guys, 4 or 5 Wild Warman Wednesday next.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun, Creed. We got Wormans calling the law on neighbors, trying to get them in trouble. We've got a lady who decided to take off in a car at a police stop, and well, she tore that bitch in half. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're there for that. We love you guys. If you're new here, check out some of our past content. You may just like it. We're a little different. We're a little bit of on the rough on the presentation, but man, what we give you in the end, muy bien. You guys stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned because the best is yet to come. Top Guy is out.
I'm going to throw a computer later if this comment thing continues.
You've been warned.
Yes.